in the background, shutting some stuff down and setting some stuff up. So just hold on. I always go through the 5-minute clock anyway, so you have 5 minutes before I actually start the live read. By getting a chat up here. Anybody who wants to chat, anybody who has anything to say, any suggestions, any ideas, any questions, please leave a comment in the chat or comment section. I am fine with that. I will answer them when I see them. I do not always see comments right away, but usually I see them eventually. Sometimes I do see them right away, but anyway, let's get something up here. And a lot of times when I write a chat in, the first one doesn't like to go through for some reason. Let's see if it works this time. Nope. Oh, there it went. It is on. A little bit of a delay, but it got there. That's great. Okay. Y'all, we are getting pretty far into this book. We don't have too much left to go. Let me take a look real quick at what we have left after today's reading. Oh, wow. We're going to have like one more day of reading. One more day. That is incredible. Okay, so let's see how long those are gonna be. That's the wrong button. Oh, I should check what page it's on. This is the first page. Okay. Come on. And when I am done reading The Handmaid's Tale, I do plan on starting reading Testaments. I do need to make sure that I get a copy of it. I'm pretty sure I found a free digital copy. So I should be able to use that. I don't know if it's from the same company. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But yeah, we'll get that on there, and I will double check and make sure that everything loads up right. It'll be a different theme, like the screens that I use. My starting screen and my live screen and my reading screen. There'll be a different theme because I want it to go along with Testaments. I'll try to find some plum colors. I think that will work nicely. All right, let's see here. Okay. All right, so yeah, it looks like it's a decent length. Hold on, maybe that's 3 chapters? Oh yeah, I forgot. So the ending has a bunch of writings, and I think it's 2 separate sections or something like that. So, am I right? 2 or 3 sections. Either way, we don't have much left. We do these readings, and then Sunday should be the end. Like, I will be able to go through all the rest of the book. And then after that, I will be switching to Testaments. And if any of you are interested, I hope you join me. I am very excited about the show coming out. I will be doing reactions to Testaments when it comes out. Maybe I'll do some other stuff, but right now I'm just focusing on the reactions. Let's go ahead and close this. Right. Hello everyone, it's Venus Brown. I am back with another Handmaid's Tale live read. This is going to be chapters 40, was it 40, 43, 43 through 45. We are coming to the end. After today, I will only have one full chapter left and the end of the book notes. And don't skip out on the end of the book notes. I think they are very important to like the context of the book, what the book comes from. Yes, it's all fiction. Yes, it is rooted from little events and things that actually have happened in history and some of which are still happening. But the notes at the end give you context as to why this fictional character of Fred created The Handmaid's Tale, why she started collecting these notes for her situation. And it goes into how these people that got a hold of the book, that published the book in fiction, how they got a hold of her stuff, her recordings, her documentation of what she went through. So, important. If you've seen the show, they don't really go into that, but they do have that last episode where at least June actually starts recording like the documentation that would have gone into The Handmaid's Tale. But on the book, it's a little bit different. On the book, they believe that the documentation actually came from her making recordings while she was in the kind of Gilead underground, where they try to get people out of Gilead. Anyway, let's close that. All right, so let's go to the reading section. I want to stretch my screen out a little bit. It's not going to look different to you, but for me, it will blow up my, it will enlarge my view a little bit so I can see things a little bit better. All right, let's go to the reading screen. And okay, I hope I'm right about this. I think we're on 254. There we are. Okay, so chapter 43 on page 254 of this digital copy that I have. The three bodies hang there, even with the white sacks over their heads, looking curiously stretched, like chickens strung up by the necks in a meat shop window, like birds with their wings clipped, like flightless birds, wrecked angels. It's hard to take your eyes off them. Beneath the hems of the dresses, the feet dangle. 2 pairs of red shoes, 1 pair of blue. If it weren't for the ropes and the sacks, it could be a kind of dance, a ballet, caught by flash camera, midair. They look arranged. They look like showbiz. It must have been Aunt Lydia who put the blue one in the middle. Today's salvaging is now concluded, Aunt Lydia announces into the mic. But we turn to her. Listen to her, watch her. She has always known how to space her pauses. A ripple runs over us, a stir. Something else, perhaps, is going to happen. But you may stand up and form a circle. She smiles down upon us, generous, munificent. She is about to give us something, bestow. Orderly now? She is talking to us, to the handmaids. Some of the wives are leaving now, some of the daughters. Most of them stay, but they stay behind, out of the way. They watch merely. They are not part of the circle. Two guardians have moved forward and are coiling up the thick rope, getting it out of the way. Others move the cushions. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the intro. All right, so let me get to that. So our intro today for chapter 43 is this image. Okay. And the last week we read through the chapter on the salvaging, where they were salvaging the three ladies. Two were handmaids and one was a wife. This is right after that salvaging takes place. And this is, and I thought that this wasn't, I thought, like I had forgotten about it. I had thought that we hadn't seen anything like this. I don't remember if they presented it that way on the show, like two handmaids and a wife, but they may have, I can't remember. But right after that, they're starting this other thing, like a salvaging, but they call it a persecution, because the handmaids are actually participating in the execution. It is the handmaids that are executing. And I honestly think that it is something they came up with to help the handmaids to release steam, to kill off people that they don't like and don't want there. And the reasoning that they're killing them off is not meant to be clear. It's not meant to be clear. We are going to get a claim, an explanation in the chapter, but then we're going to find out from one of the handmaids that the explanation they gave was wrong, was fake. And the explanation they gave was, it was definitely intentionally used to rile up the handmaids, to get them angry, to get them furious, so that they would be willing, because who really wants to kill a person when that you're not that kind of person, when you are not a killer? What kind of motivating factors do there need to be to get you to agree to actually kill somebody when you're not a murderer, when you have never killed somebody in the past? That kind of thing. So I definitely think they intentionally use these fake excuses to rile up the handmaids, to get them angry, to get them furious. But I think it also has the consequence of giving them an outlet, some way to vent, because they're going through horrific shit. These people in Gilead are doing horrific shit to them. And this is the one opportunity that they get to really do horrific shit to somebody else. But who are they doing it to? They're being told one thing, but what they're being told may not be accurate. And in this case, it apparently is not accurate. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the reading. The three bodies hang there, even with the white sacks over their heads, looking curiously stretched, like chickens strung up by the necks in a meat shop window, like birds with their wings clipped, like flightless birds, wrecked angels. It's hard to take your eyes off them. Beneath the hems of the dresses, the feet dangle. 2 pairs of red shoes, 1 pair of blue. If it weren't for the ropes and the sacks, it could be a kind of dance, a ballet, caught by flash camera, mid-air. They look arranged. They look like showbiz. It must have been Aunt Lydia who put that blue one in the middle. Today's salvaging is now concluded, Aunt Lydia announces into the mic. But we turn to her, listen to her, watch her. She has always known how to space her pauses. A ripple runs over us, a stir. Something else, perhaps, is going to happen. But you may stand up and form a circle. She smiles down upon us, generous, munificent. She is about to give us something, bestow. Orderly now. She is talking to us, to the handmaids. Some of the wives are leaving now, some of the daughters. Most of them stay, but they stay behind, out of the way. They watch merely. They are not part of the circle. 2 guardians have moved forward and are coiling up the thick rope, getting it out of the way. Others move the cushions. We are milling around now on the grass space in front of the stage. Some jockeying for position at the front, next to the center. Many pushing just as hard to work their way to the middle, where they will be shielded. It's a mistake to hang back too obviously in any group like this. It stamps you as lukewarm, lacking in zeal. There's an energy building here, a murmur, a tremor of readiness and anger. The body's tense, the eyes are brighter, as if aiming. I don't want to be at the front or at the back either. I'm not sure what's coming, though I sense it won't be anything I want to see up close. But if Glenn has hold of my arm, she tugs me with her, and now we're in the second line, with only a thin hedge of bodies in front of us. I don't want to see, yet I don't pull back either. I've heard rumors, which I only half believe. Despite everything I already know, I say to myself, they wouldn't go that far. You know the rules for a persecution, Aunt Lydia says. You will wait until I blow the whistle. After that, what you do is up to you. Until I blow the whistle again. Understood? A noise comes from among us, a formless assent. Well then, says Aunt Lydia. She nods. 2 guardians, not the same ones that have taken away the rope, come forward now from behind the stage. Between them, they half carry, half drag a 3rd man. He too is in a guardian's uniform, but he has no hat on and the uniform is dirty and torn. His face is cut and bruised, deep reddish-brown bruises. The flesh is swollen and knobby, stubbled with unshaven beard. This doesn't look like a face, but like an unknown vegetable. A mangled bulb or tuber, something that's gone wrong. Even from where I'm standing, I can smell him. He smells of shit and vomit. His hair is blonde and falls over his face, spiky. With what? Dried sweat? I stare at him with revulsion. He looks drunk. He looks like a drunk that's been in a fight. Why have they brought a drunk in here? This man, says Aunt Lydia, has been convicted of rape. Her voice trembles with rage and a kind of triumph. He was once a guardian. He has disgraced his uniform. He has abused his position of trust. His partner in viciousness has already been shot. The penalty for rape, as you know, is death. Deuteronomy 22:23 through 29. I might add that this crime involved 2 of you and took place at gunpoint. It was brutal. I will not offend your ears with any details, except to say that one woman was pregnant and the baby died. Now, what was I going to say about this? Oh, yeah, the penalty for rape is death. Yet they are having these fucking monthly rapes, but they don't call them rapes. No, these are religious ceremonies, and they are totally legal and ethical according to Gilead law. And even in the show later on, when some of these women escape out of Gilead and these things go to trial, they still kind of treat it as though, because this is Gilead law, it falls within their law and therefore is legal. But yeah, rape is a penalty. Rape holds a penalty of death, unless you're fucking Gilead commander raping a handmaid every month according to ceremony. So whatever. Anyway, a sigh goes up from us. Despite myself, I feel my hands clench. It is too much, this violation. The baby, too. After what we go through, it's true. There is a bloodlust. I want to tear, gouge, rend. We jostle forward, our heads turn from side to side, our nostrils flare, sniffing death. We look at one another, seeing the hatred. Shooting was too good. The man's head swivels groggily around. Has he even heard her? Aunt Lydia waits a moment. Then she gives a little smile and raises her whistle to her lips. We hear it, shrill and silver, an echo from a volleyball game of long ago. The two guardians let go of the third man's arm and step back. He staggers. Is he drugged? And he falls to his knees. His eyes are shriveled up inside the puffy flesh of his face, as if the light is too bright for him. They've kept him in darkness. He raises one hand to his cheek, as though to feel if he is still there. All of this happens quickly, but it seems to be slowly. Nobody moves forward. The women are looking at him with horror, as if he's a half-dead rat dragging itself across a kitchen floor. He's squinting around at us, the circle of red women. One corner of his mouth moves up. Incredible. A smile? I try to look inside him, inside the trashed face, see what he must really look like. I think he's about 30. It isn't Luke. But it could have been. I know that. It could be Nick. I know that whatever he's done, I can't touch him. He says something. It comes out thick, as if his throat is bruised, his tongue huge in his mouth, but I hear it anyway. He says, I didn't. There's a surge forward like a crowd at a rock concert in the former time. When the doors opened, the urgency coming like a wave through us. The air is bright with adrenaline. We are permitted anything, and this is freedom. In my body also, I am reeling. Red spreads everywhere. But before that tide of cloth and bodies hits him, of Glenn is shoving through the women in front of us, propelling herself with her elbows left, right, and running towards him. She pushes him down, sideways, and then kicks his head viciously. 1, 2, 3 times. Sharp, painful jabs, with the foot well aimed. Now there are sounds, gasps, a low noise like growling, yells, and the red bodies tumble forward, and I can no longer see. He's obscured by arms, fists, feet. A high scream comes from somewhere, like a horse in terror. I keep back, try to stay on my feet. Something hits me from behind. I stagger. When I regain my balance and look around, I see the wives and daughters leaning forward in their chairs, the aunts on the platform gazing down with interest. They must have a better view from up there. He has become an it. Of Glenn is back beside me. Her face is tight, expressionless. I saw what you did, I say to her. Now I'm beginning to feel again. Shock, outrage, nausea, barbarism. Why did you do that? You, I thought, you. Don't look at me, she says. They're watching. I don't care, I say, my voice is rising. I can't help it. Get control of yourself, she says. She pretends to brush me off, my arm and shoulder bringing her face close to my ear. Don't be stupid. He wasn't a rapist at all. He was a political. He was one of ours. I knocked him out, put him out of his misery. Don't you know what they're doing to him? One of ours, I think. A guardian? It seems impossible. Aunt Lydia blows her whistle again, but they don't stop at once. The two guardians move in, pulling them off from what's left. Some lie on the grass where they've been hit or kicked by accident. Some have fainted. They straggle away in twos and threes or by themselves. They seem dazed. You will find your partners and reform your line, Aunt Lydia says into the mic. Few pay attention to her. A woman comes towards us, walking as if she's feeling her way with her feet in the dark. Janine. There's a smear of blood across her cheek, and more of it on the white of her headdress. She's smiling, a bright, diminutive smile. Her eyes have come loose. Hi there, she says. How are you doing? She's holding something tightly in her right hand. It's a clump of blonde hair. She gives a small giggle. Janine, I say. But she's let go, totally now. She's in free fall. She's in withdrawal. You have a nice day, she says, and walks on past us, towards the gate. I look after her. Easy out is what I think. I don't even feel sorry for her, although I should. I feel angry. I'm not proud of myself for this, or for any of it, but then that's the point. My hands smell of warm tar. I want to go back to the house and up to the bathroom and scrub with the harsh soap and the pumice to get every trace of this smell off my skin. The smell makes me feel sick. But also, I'm hungry. This is monstrous, but nevertheless, it's true. Death makes me hungry. Maybe it's because I've been emptied. Or maybe it's the body's way of seeing to it that I remain alive, continue to repeat its bedrock prayer. I am, I am, I am still. I want to go to bed, make love right now. I think of the word relish. I could eat a horse. And this ravenous hunger, it reminds me of, if you haven't seen the show, spoilers, I do give spoilers for the show. I give spoilers for the books. It's the way I am. I'm not that big on holding back spoilers. I may hold back on major ones, but not going to hold back on this. On the show, there is a portion where the escaped handmaids get a hold of Fred, and they have Fred basically released in the woods. They do their own persecution. June blows the whistle, and they all go after him. And the whole thing about being hungry and like being ravenous, all of that, it definitely reminds me of kind of the after this all happens and they have torn Fred apart and killed him. Like the way that June acts after that is all done, and you're like, holy crap, like this is like grotesque. And she's like reacting, like we're thinking, because we're sane people, we're thinking her reactions are insane. They're insane. But then what do you do when you kill a person? Like most of us in our lives have never killed anybody, so we wouldn't even know how we would react necessarily. But if you're in a situation like that where you're in a big mob and you're tearing this person apart because you, for whatever reason, but in this case because you hate him or you hate what he represents so badly that you're just like beating the crap out of him and tearing him apart. After that is all done, you're going to be depleted. I'm quite sure of that. That's why she probably feels like she's been emptied. But are you going to be like really hungry, really ravenous? Maybe. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, all right. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. I'm just looking at some notices. Okay. It's just a notice from my friend. I've been taking her to work because her parents usually drive her to work. She does not have a license, and so sometimes, right now her parents are gone. They're gone on vacation. So sometimes I take her to work. Sometimes her sister does. Sometimes she gets a ride from her aunt. Sometimes she gets a ride from coworkers. But anyway, I've been taking her to work, and I'm supposed to take her to work tomorrow. So she was leaving me a message asking about, I think what time I'm going to come tomorrow, maybe? All right, so let's see. We're doing the next chapter. I forgot to turn that one off. Okay, so chapter 44. Okay, so this image is of a new of Glen. The former of Glen, the one that was just there that morning when they did that persecution. The one that just stomped that guy's head in. She's not going to be there. There's going to be a new of Glen. She's been taken away. Now in the show, it's different. She is taken away, but it's for a different reason. Or she's replaced, but it's for a different reason. In this one, we'll see in the chapter exactly what happens. All right, so let's get started with chapter 44. Things are back to normal. How can I call this normal? But compared with this morning, it is normal. For lunch, there was a cheese sandwich on brown bread, a glass of milk, celery sticks, canned pears. A school child's lunch. I ate everything up, not quickly, but reveling in the taste, the flavors lush on my tongue. Now I am going shopping, the same as usual. I even look forward to it. There's a certain consolation to be taken from routine. I go out the back door, along the path. Nick is washing the car, his hat on sideways. He doesn't look at me. We avoid looking at each other. These days, surely, we'd give something away by it. Even out here in the open with no one to see. I wait at the corner for of Glen. She's late. At last I see her coming, a red and white shape of cloth, like a kite, walking at the steady pace we've all learned to keep. I see her and notice nothing at first. Then as she comes nearer, I think that there must be something wrong with her. She looks wrong. She's altered in some indefinable way. She's not injured. She's not limping. It's as if she's shrunk. Then when she's nearer still, I see what it is. She isn't of Glen. She's the same height but thinner, and her face is beige, not pink. She comes up to me, stops. "Blessed be the fruit," she says, straight-faced, straight-laced. "May the Lord open," I reply. I try not to show surprise. "You must be of Fred," she says. I say yes, and we begin our walk. Now what I think, my head is churning. This is not good news. What has become of her? How do I find out without showing too much concern? We aren't supposed to form friendships, loyalties among one another. I try to remember how much time of Glen has to go at her present posting. "We've been sent good weather," I say, "which I receive with joy," the voice, placid, flat, unrevealing. We pass the first checkpoint without saying anything further. She's taciturn, but so am I. Is she waiting for me to start something, reveal myself? Or is she a believer, engrossed in inner meditation? "Has of Glen been transferred so soon?" I ask, but I know she hasn't. I saw her only this morning. She would have said. I am of Glen," the woman says, word perfect. "And of course she is, the new one. And of Glen, wherever she is no longer of Glen. I never did know her real name. That is how you can get lost in a sea of names. It wouldn't be easy to find her now." We go to Milk and Honey and to All Flesh, where I buy chicken, and the new of Glen gets 3 pounds of hamburger. There are the usual lineups. I see several women I recognize, exchange with them the infinitesimal nods with which we show each other we are known. At least to someone we still exist. Outside All Flesh, I say to the new of Glen, "We should go to the wall. I don't know what I expect from this. Some way of testing her reaction, perhaps. I need to know whether or not she is one of us. If she is, if I can establish that, perhaps she'll be able to tell me what has really happened to of Glen." "As you like," she says. Is that indifference or caution? On the wall hang the 3 women from this morning, still in their dresses, still in their shoes, still with the white bags over their heads. Their arms have been untied and are stiff, proper at their sides. The blue one is in the middle, the 2 red ones on either side, though the colors are no longer as bright. They seem to have faded, grown dingy, like dead butterflies, or tropical fish drying on land. The gloss is off them. We stand and look at them in silence. "Let that be a reminder to us," says the new of Glen, finally. I say nothing at first, because I'm trying to make out what she means. She could mean that this is a reminder to us of the unjustness and the brutality of the regime. In that case, I ought to say yes. Or she could mean the opposite, that we should remember to do what we are told and not get into trouble. Because if we do, we will be rightfully punished. If she means that, I should say, praise be. Her voice was bland, toneless, no clues there. I take a chance. Yes, I say. To this she does not respond, although I sense a flicker of white at the edge of my vision, as if she's looked quickly at me. After a moment we turn away and begin the long walk back, matching our steps in the approved way, so that we seem to be in unison. I think maybe I should wait before attempting anything further. It's too soon to push, to probe. I should give it a week, 2 weeks, maybe longer. Watch her carefully. Listen for tones in her voice, unguarded words, the way of Glenn listened to me. Now that of Glenn is gone, I'm alert again. My sluggishness has fallen away. My body is no longer for pleasure only, but senses its jeopardy. I should not be rash. I should not take unnecessary risks. But I need to know. I hold back until we're past the final checkpoint, and there are only blocks to go, but then I can no longer control myself. I didn't know of Glenn very well, I say. I mean the former one. Oh, she says. The fact that she's said anything, however guarded, encourages me. I've only known her since May, I say. I can feel my skin growing hot, my heart speeding up. This is tricky. For one thing, it's a lie. And how do I get from there to the next vital word? Around the 1st of May, I think it was, what they used to call May Day. Did they, she says, light, indifferent, menacing. That isn't a term I remember. I'm surprised you do. You ought to make an effort. She pauses. To clear your mind of such, she pauses again. Echoes. Now I feel cold, seeping over my skin like water. What she is doing is warning me. She isn't one of us, but she knows. I walk the last blocks in terror. I've been stupid again, more than stupid. It hasn't occurred to me before, but now I see. If Glenn's been caught, if Glenn may talk about me, among others, she will talk. She won't be able to help it. But I haven't done anything, I tell myself. Not really. All I did was know. All I did was not tell. They know where my child is. What if they bring her, threaten something to her in front of me, or do it? I can't bear to think what they might do. Or Luke. What if they have Luke? Or my mother? Or Moira? Or almost anyone? Dear God, don't make me choose. I would not be able to stand it. I know that. Moira was right about me. I'll say anything they like. I'll incriminate anyone. It's true. The first scream, whimper even, and I'll turn to jelly. I'll confess to any crime. I'll end up hanging from a hook on the wall. Keep your head down, I used to tell myself, and see it through. It's no use. This is the way I talk to myself on the way home. At the corner, we turn to one another in the usual way. Under his eye, says the new, treacherous of Glenn. Under his eye, I say, trying to sound fervent, as if such play acting could help, now that we've come this far. Then she does an odd thing. She leans forward, so that the stiff, white blinkers on our heads are almost touching, so that I can see her pale beige eyes up close, the delicate web of lines across her cheeks, and whispers, very quickly, her voice faint as dry leaves. "She hanged herself," she says, "after the salvaging. She saw the van coming for her. It was better." Then she's walking away from me down the street. So one of the things that I notice in this chapter is that the reactions that she has at first with the first of Glenn, she takes her time. Of Glenn takes her time. They very slowly start to kind of test each other and figure out who they are, figure out if they could trust each other, if they could talk to each other about anything other than the prescribed shit. And at the beginning, they both feel they're all these handmaids, their partner that they are supposed to walk with, they are supposed to be each other's spies. They're supposed to be keeping an eye on them, checking up on them, making sure that they're doing the right thing, and they can rat on them at any time. And even if they want to keep it from Gilead, even if they do not want to rat them out, Gilead will snatch them and torture them and try to make them freaking come clean with whatever it is. So there's always that concern, that worry. But at the beginning, when they are first meeting each other, they take their time. They take a while before they get anywhere to where they can feel like they can talk to each other at all past that prescribed stuff. This is the first time she's met this of Glenn, and she goes through it a lot faster. Like, she talks about not being able to do that, knowing that she needs to give it a couple weeks, that she needs to wait, that she has to be careful. But then eventually she says she can't help herself, and she starts asking these questions, these telling questions. And this of Glenn seems much more treacherous, possibly more of a believer. She responds in ways that really make of Fred like worried, concerned. They're not the kind of reactions that you want to see from a new partner, that you're trying to get a fucking understanding of whether you can be trusted or not. And then at the end, the girl tells her that of Glenn had killed herself. So she at least told her what she had to say. In the show, another spoiler, in the show, it goes different than this. Of Glenn was taken. She did not kill herself on the show. In the show, she was taken. She was found out for being gay, which I'm pretty sure they knew she was gay in the first place, but they let it go because she had working ovaries, basically. But she was having a relationship with one of the Marthas. So they took her, they took the Martha, and they hung the Martha, killed her. And because of Glenn had working ovaries, I guess, they decided that they were going to remove her lady parts so that she wouldn't have those urges anymore. Because if you can't destroy a gay person, I guess in their opinion, you just destroy their ability to function. Granted, if anybody had any fucking brain, they would know that that doesn't actually destroy their ability to function that way. It fucks them up, yes. It fucks her up, majorly. But it doesn't destroy your ability to do anything. It doesn't destroy your ability to get aroused. It probably does for a while, because having shit down there damaged, it can be very freaking not appealing, not appealing in the sexual realm. So, but yeah, anyway, it's time to move on to the next chapter. Let's go ahead. Okay, I did not turn that off. Okay, so chapter 45, I just watch. I'll explain it in a bit. Okay. So in chapter 45, Serena finds out about the Jezebel stuff. She finds her cloak with lipstick on it. She finds the Jezebel dress and confronts of Glenn or of Fred about it. And there's a part in it which I wanted to get a picture of her with the freaking, confronting June with the freaking Jezebel dress, but I couldn't find one. But there's also a portion where she is, where she has a flash. I guess there's a flashback or whatever of her talking to Fred, because apparently this shit happened before with the other girl. Like I said, it probably did. So basically what I did, since I couldn't find the picture of Serena with the Jezebel dress, is found a picture of her confronting Fred. I believe it was a flashback of when he confronted Fred after finding out about the other girl, because the other girl hung herself. So that's, I'm pretty sure what that image was from her confronting Fred after the girl hung herself. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, you're screwing around with the fucking handmaids. It's not going to fucking end well. And it obviously didn't end well. All right, so let's go ahead and start reading chapter 45. I stand a moment, emptied of air, as if I've been kicked. So she's dead. And I am safe after all. She did it before they came. I feel great relief. I feel thankful to her. She has died that I may live. I will mourn later, unless the woman is lying. There's always that. I breathe in deeply. Breathe out, giving myself oxygen. The space in front of me blackens and then clears. I can see my way. I turn, open the gate, keeping my hand on it a moment to steady myself. Walk in. Nick is there, still washing the car, whistling a little. He seems very far away. Dear God, I think. I will do anything you like. Now that you've let me off, I'll obliterate myself if that's what you really want. I'll empty myself, truly become a chalice. I'll give up Nick. I'll forget about the others. I'll stop complaining. I'll accept my lot. I'll sacrifice. I'll repent. I'll abdicate. I'll renounce. I know this can't be right, but I think it anyway. Everything they taught at the Red Center, everything I've resisted comes flooding in. I don't want pain. I don't want to be a dancer, my feet in the air, my head a faceless oblong of white cloth. I don't want to be a doll hung up on the wall. I don't want to be a wingless angel. I want to keep on living in any form. I resign my body freely to the use of others. They can do what they like with me. I am abject. I feel, for the first time, their true power. I go along past the flower beds, the willow tree, aiming for the back door. I will go in. I will be safe. I will fall on my knees in my room, Gratefully breathe in lungfuls of stale air, smelling of furniture polish. Serena Joy has come out of the front door. She's standing on the steps. She calls to me. What is it she wants? Does she want me to go into the sitting room and help her wind gray wool? I won't be able to hold my hands steady. She'll notice something. But I walk over to her anyway, since I have no choice. On the top, she towers above me. Her eyes flare, hot blue against the shriveled white of her skin. I look away from her face, down at the ground, at her feet, the tip of her cane. I trusted you, she says. I tried to help you. Still, I don't look up at her. Guilt pervades me. I've been found out. But for what? For which of my many sins am I accused? The only way to find out is to keep silent. To start excusing myself now for this or that would be a blunder. I could give away something she hasn't even guessed. It might be nothing. It might be the match hidden in my bed. I hang my head. Well, she asks, nothing to say for yourself? I look up at her. About what? I manage to stammer. As soon as it's out, it sounds impudent. Look, she says. She brings her free hand from behind her back. It's her cloak she's holding. The winter one. There was lipstick on it, she says. How could you be so vulgar, I told him. She drops the cloak. She's holding something else, her hand all bone. She throws that down as well. The purple sequins fall, slithering down over the step like snakeskin, glittering in the sunlight. Behind my back, she says. You could have left me something. Does she love him after all? She raises her cane. I think she's going to hit me, but she doesn't. Pick up that disgusting thing and get to your room. Just like the other one, a slut. You'll end up the same. I stood. I stoop, gather. Behind my back, Nick has stopped whistling. I want to turn, run to him, throw my arms around him. This would be foolish. There's nothing he can do to help. He too would drown. I walk to the back door into the kitchen, set down my basket, go upstairs. I am orderly and calm. And that's the end of that chapter. We have this one chapter called Night left, and then we have the notes. That will be on Sunday. So if you would like, you can see me then on Sunday. Maybe around noon, maybe around 2. It depends. It depends on how much I get done and what all I'm doing on Sunday. But yeah, Sunday around noon or 2 p.m. I will read the end of Handmaid's Tale, and then I'll try to figure out what I am doing when I start with Testaments. Like I said, I am going to be reading Testaments. I will also be doing reactions to the show when it begins on April 8th. But I have not picked up the book yet. I did verify that there is a free, open source copy that I can get, just like I did with this one. I have the audiobooks that I've already listened to, but these are digital written copies. I do not have paperback copies. There are plenty of paperback books that I do have, but the only ones I think that I would even think about reading on here might be like I have the set of Bridgerton books. Lord of the Rings, maybe? Like stuff like that. I have a bunch of sci-fi stuff. I have old Anne Rice books and stuff like that. Um, Stephen King books, things like that. But right now, Handmaid's Tale. Next book is going to be I keep forgetting this word. Like, I had the problem remembering it last time I was trying to remember on one of these, and then I had the problem again when I was talking to my husband. Um, it's crazy. Like, I say it so much, yet I keep drawing a blank. Like, I know it starts with the T, and I keep thinking trespass, transition, stuff like that, and I know that's not it. Tempest, it's not that either. You know what? I have Testaments. It's Testaments. So, so yeah. I'll get my hands on the digital copy of Testaments. Read that. I will do the reactions when the reactions come out. But that's all I got for you now. I'll see you when I see you. Bye. Right. This back to one. Page 265. And stream and